Hello, hello, my beautiful Cancers, my brother and sisters in Cancer. Nika here, the Traveling Tarot, back with a weekly vibe check. My messages are timeless, so if you find this video later on, it will apply to that week. As always, these messages are going to be for Cancers, Cancer placements, Cancer watchers, and they are general, so take them as they resonate. But I'm going to start with just doing an overarching energy, and then pull an oracle card for career as well as love, give you guys some area of focus, some challenges possible, and some advice, and then I'll send you guys off with an angel number. If you're interested in booking a reading, or if you have any questions or need some clarity, feel free to DM me and I'll be more than happy to help. And yeah, if these messages are helping you, please do support the channel by giving it a like, share, or subscribe, or all three. All right, so I'm going to start by just pulling one of these cards so we can get an overarching energy for the coming week, and then we'll break it down into career as well as where the current energies might be for my beautiful Cancers who are looking for love or in a relationship. What do you want the beautiful Cancer watching this video to know? Whoa, they're explosive. I hope that you guys are keeping your shit together during this retrograde, because on top of it being an incredibly transformative time just for Cancers in and of itself, it's a retrograde. So a lot of shit is showing up, and there might be a little bit of back and forth, and you might even be feeling like you're going a little bit crazy. But it's so perfect that the Metal King actually showed up. I got this in my personal reading last night, and it was all about discipline, armor, and boundaries. Okay, so they want you to surrender but still stay within these boundaries that you set. Remember, this is that integration time where you are actually putting those boundaries into play. So this would be the main reason why you'd want to use the stuff that is showing up for this retrograde. Okay, but the card that we did get, oh I love this stuff. The Hawk Prince. It's an 11 card, okay, which is definitely a portal. It also represents awakening as an angel number. But it's the Hawk Prince, and it says spirit communication and paying attention, okay? Remember, spirit is communicating with you, Cancer, and they want you to tune in and follow the guidance. I think that's what my last reading or my channeled messages was about, was don't read too deep into something. Take it at face value. But ask your angels for that guidance before you make any decisions, especially during this retrograde. But what I did get from my retrograde readings that you guys might want to check out is that the change is going to be coming closer to the end of this retrograde, or the most progress, or especially as you continue to lean into the boundaries that you've been setting and solidify yourself, integrate them into who you are now. And as I pick that up, another 8 plus 3, it's a 38 card breaking down to an 11, okay? And it says fairness and balance, okay? That's that justice energy in the major arcana in the tarot. But they want you to know that they are communicating with you, so follow that guidance and pay attention to what you're receiving. It's all leading you towards that awakening. That's what that 11 card is going to represent here. And the beautiful thing about this one is that this is a 37 card, breaks down to a 10, which is all about endings and new beginnings. So it's very much about that death energy, letting those cycles close and moving into that 38, which brings out an 11, which is that fairness and that balance and that reciprocity, which is one of the biggest things that Cancer is learning right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull one career and money card to see what's going on in that arena over the next week, and what you can do to best navigate your financial or career moves right now. What would you like my beautiful Cancer to know? Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate you guys. I'm going to be doing lives pretty regularly here on TikTok, so make sure you do subscribe, okay? And I will be opening up the forum, not this time, but for questions, so definitely subscribe. All right, so we did get some type of financial challenges, okay? And if you're if you're dealing with, you're focused on money or career right now, obviously there's been some challenges, okay? And that's what this retrograde is actually really highlighting, so that you can say no, because coffin also represents that death energy that I was talking about, setting those boundaries, okay? It does say bad investment, financial challenges, but it also says savings. It says some type of office work, night shift, or a job ending. So you guys might be in between some type of a challenge right now, but it is all meant for you to look at how you are approaching money and refine your money strategy, because we have chess showing up as well. It says money strategy, wise spending, and long game. Remember, Cancer, this quiet awakening is slow moving, mainly because this is long term. You're building something long term here, okay? There is no more kind of looking for fast satisfaction. In fact, it's not happening that way, especially for Cancers, because obviously we've been through this major change or awakening, and it's now. So we're really feeling our shadow self during this retrograde, especially because we're at the end of the cycle. The cycles are closed already, but we now have to step into this newness, okay? The energy's already done. And if you really think about it, you can feel into what you're holding on to that's been dead, okay? But they're saying re-look at your strategy, okay? This is almost look at it like a game, like you're playing a game of chess. What is working, what is not working, and how can you refine and tune more into what is working? It says wise spending, so you might want to be a little more smart with, and look, I'm the one who's focused on the career and money. So this makes perfect sense. I've even been more conscious about, do I really need this? Or am I just bored and now I'm rolling over and ordering shit on Amazon or Temu? You know, you really have to be smarter about it, because you're looking at long-term success, and long-term you're now nurturing those seeds that you're planting. And so to stay balanced, you want to be smarter and look at a new strategy financially, okay? Because they did say there was some type of bad investment or financial challenges, but this is also the death card. This also represents death. So there is going to be an end to what they're really saying right now is the time and stuff that you've been investing in stuff that's not working. Let that end, or there's going to be an end to that, especially as you refine your strategy when it comes to money, okay? And then I picked that up and we have sudden change. The Tower energy was another thing I got in my own personal reading. So Cancer, a lot of unexpected things are going to be showing up, and you're meant to hold to your boundaries no matter what this is, okay? And look, don't even kick yourself in the ass if you find yourself falling back into that old pattern. Your awareness should not let it get too far off the rails, period. Be like, oh man, damn, all right, I'm back though. Okay, as soon as you can, get back. Because it isn't about falling off. It's about staying down when you fall off, okay? Because we're all going through these ebbs and flows. But if you let the ebb take you out, the bad investment, then now you don't see the point of it, or the change, or the opportunity in what actually is happening, okay? So let's go ahead and pull one love card so that we can see what they want you to know about either the current energy or what's coming in. But this coming week, Cancer, you're going to definitely want to focus more when it comes to your finances on a new strategy, a new approach. Maybe look at different streams of income, new course of learning or something like that that's going to help you, even taking a course in finances. I mean, I love the whole, intuitive side of it, but life is real too. So you want to get that structure in place, that strategy, so that it's not just out there in the ethers, okay? Okay. Don't shoot the messenger. But again, we're in a retrograde, so it makes perfect sense. And look, I would not be surprised if in matters of the heart, a lot of the past is showing up for you. Your exes, or your old friends, or even old feelings, or an old playlist that you happen upon that's taking you back there. But it does say, the card we got, was live your life and don't wait for them to do something. If they don't text or call you, you wouldn't want them anyway, okay? And this is man, woman, female, whatever it is. And it showed up with its time to say goodbye. Okay, this is not, I'm not telling you to go and just, leave your husband or wife. Please don't take that as that. But it really is saying that if there is something that feels off, or you're constantly waiting to hear from this person, or they're not following through in the ways that you need, time to say goodbye. And that goes with everything. Again, this is asking about the love energy, but this is also the bad time investment. What are you giving to that's not giving back to you, that's wearing you out? What boundaries do you need to remember and integrate over this next week, over these next weeks, so that you can truly let the cycle end and get out of this energy of waiting for somebody to come around? That's the thing. What I always tell my son especially is the more you focus on you becoming more balanced and in place, then the right people and the right opportunities do show up, and the wrong ones become so loud that you're like, there's no way I can keep doing this. Okay, so listen to that intuition. That's what they were saying about paying attention and spirit communication. Okay, so just know that they are giving you that information, but you have the free will to ignore it. And you're going to know you're ignoring it because it's going to make you feel like shit. Period. If it makes you feel like shit, that's your first sign to say, nah, I'm good. This either has to change to be here, or it's got to go. Because I'm on a new path now, and I'm embracing this path, learning to be on this path with confidence, and I cannot allow things to pull me back. Okay, because this is a very powerful transition. So Cancer, even if it's painful, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Ten of Swords when I do the tarot here. Even if it's painful, especially if it's painful, it is time to say goodbye. And I don't care if it's a relationship, I don't care if it's a practice, a process, thoughts. If it is giving you pain of any sort, honestly evaluate and say, I can't keep doing this, and won't. Once you make that absolute no, which my last few readings have been about, and that's what this retrograde is about, to get to that absolute no. This is no longer who I am. This is no longer a part of my life. Then you'll be able to move into and receive what they're guiding you to, and that awakening with that 11 card showing up. As soon as I pick up the tarot, we have the Fool. They definitely want you to look at what's working. And also, one of the things I've been getting the most is it's not so much what you're doing, it is about your approach or how you feel about what you're doing. So if you are, you say, like, I love doing tarot, but if I'm, more focused on likes and subscribes and all of that stuff, then it really changes the dynamic for me. So they're saying, tap into what makes you want to show up. Tap into the thing that you would do, especially when you're re-strategizing, whether people show up or not. This is why that passion will fuel and it will attract the clients and the customers. I know it sounds like BS, and I know it sounds like I should just go ahead and keep trying harder, because I struggle myself with not continuously trying instead of just saying, look, you guys are giving me the answer. I've asked this question, done this reading 5 times this week, and the answer's been the same until I change. That's your cue also. If it's not changing, it's because they've given you the answer. Now it's your job to act on that information, okay? But they want you to approach this with that innocence, that beginner's mind. Let go of the bad investment. Let go of even the financial challenges or the things that you've had to overcome, okay? Let go of that armor that you've had to build up, because even though it does represent those boundaries, you can softly represent those boundaries without having this cold exterior. Because I know, especially at being a Cancer Sun Moon, I'm not a cold person. That would be completely not me to be a dick. It just would be. Unless I'm upset about something. If I'm just now a bitter person, that's going to really be obvious to me, and that's going to be my cue to change things. So try to look at things from a beginner's mind, okay? And let's see what the focus is going to be in this coming week. As you open up to what you're receiving, be in tune so that you can receive the guidance with that paying attention. Lean into your boundaries softly and be willing to say goodbye. And did I not tell you that I think I got the Tower in my own personal reading? Something unexpected is coming through, and I believe it's coming through right on the heels of this retrograde. It might start showing up, but it's going to be a massive, dramatic shift, okay? Especially showing up with the Knight of Swords. I think I got this one too in my reading. Something is shifting. First of all, they're saying, you know, something has to change. You're you're aware of it. You feel it. You're living it if you're feeling this financial challenge or this loss or this lack or this needing to say goodbye. Okay? You know. I'm sick of sitting around waiting to hear back from this person. I'm sick of them saying they're going to show up and they don't. I'm sick of them, treating me like shit when we are together, or acting like I don't exist, or being in everybody else's grill but mine. You know something has to change. And they're saying something is coming in quickly. It might be a dramatic shift in perspective, because that was some of the things that I got for myself. But something is going to shift here. It might even just be you wake up one day and say, I cannot do it anymore. And that would be your dramatic shift. And it is going to cause an upheaval, because the people who have gotten comfortable with you doing this, this, and this are going to be like, whoa, you've changed. You're a dick now. No, I'm not allowing you to take advantage of me anymore, and I know what I want, and I know what I need, and this ain't it. Okay, but they know this also represents whether you change it or not, it's changing. Okay, so just be prepared and lean into what is happening, because it is going to happen quickly. Okay, let's see what challenge is going to come through. I would be blown away if it was something like the Ten of Swords, because again, letting things end is one of the rougher things to do as a Cancer, because we invest our entire being into relationships. We invest our entire being into the things that we're doing, and so letting that go feels like we're letting a part of ourselves go. But they're telling you to do that. Be willing to, because the person that's on the other side of this disappointment, this colder exterior that you've had to build up, maybe even a little bit bitter, maybe a little bit fuck the world type shit, this exterior that you're building up is not you, and that's why you're so uncomfortable. Okay, so the challenge, look at that. We have that inner struggle showing up with the Two of Cups. Now, if it's that love situation, is because you really feel like this is your person. You really feel like this is your, I don't want to say twin, because I understand the twin flame dynamic, and it doesn't mean you belong together. It just means that's the person that reflects back to you in a way that makes you change your life because you want to, and it feels like them, it's about them, but it's not. Okay? But they're saying that this also represents you and your higher self being in balance, okay? And you're in this struggle between who you've become and who you've been. And also when that past shows up, they're saying this could be a challenge for you this week, okay? So be very gentle with yourself. And like I said, if you don't see that way out, it's coming anyway. And that's not to scare you. That's to give you hope, to be honest, because sometimes when you're running in place, that's the most miserable thing. You're like, something, please change. And I can't see it, or I don't really know what to do to change. They're saying that inner struggle, there's going to be some type of shift in perspective. Did I not say this was going to show up as a challenge? Letting this cycle be over, looking at the new horizon, because it's painful. It has been painful. That's what's causing the inner struggle between you and you. You can feel the shift, because again, energetically, you maybe want it so bad, but who you've been is still kind of active. And so sometimes, especially if you have evolved past it, when you allow yourself to go back into that struggle, you can really be hard on yourself, especially Cancers. You can take it on as this is who I am. this is when you most want to listen to that communication and that intuition, and you want to cling to those boundaries that you've set. Set those within yourself. Say no to what has been before, but you've got to find a place of trust and faith in order to truly be able to do that, or else it's just lip service. And the universe is listening to what you mean, not what you say. Okay? And if what you say makes you feel like shit, they're listening to what you mean. So you feel like you're exuding that shit vibe. They're saying no. You have to work to find some type of alignment with yourself, because that inner struggle is tearing you apart, and it's making you not allow these cycles that are closed to actually close. Okay, but let's get some advice here, okay? All is not lost, my beautiful Cancer. This is the process of awakening. It's ebb and flow. You are going to, especially as you move beyond this stuff that you've allowed to be, it's going to come up. It's going to come up right in the face, so that you can say, no, this is not it anymore, period. And I don't care if I have to be alone right now. I don't care if I have to struggle a little bit. I don't care if I have to try to figure it out. This is not it. And I cannot waste any more time doing this, okay? So be gentle with yourself, most importantly. I think the last readings that we got were all about, during the retrograde, nurturing yourself, giving Cancer what Cancer needs, that quiet time, speaking kind words to yourself. All of that stuff was what they were saying is going to help you with this internal struggle that shows up, okay? But the retrograde should be over soon. We're coming into August already. Can you believe it? Coming into August already. I think it's over around the 11th or 12th. There's going to be a little bit of shadow after that, but you're going to see amazing movement for that very reason, Cancer, okay? So I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting with you. Let's go. Because like I always say, what you have already overcome, anything else ain't shit, period. I know, at least in my life, what you got type shit, okay? So let's see what the advice is going to be for Spirit, and then I'm going to get you guys a angel number so that you guys can see that the universe is with you. When you see this number, it's just a gentle reminder. And a lot of the times, man, even when you're in that shadow work, especially the devil. I was literally talking about shadow work. They're saying release yourself from these things that you feel bound to. And it does feel like thoughts. But with this relationship right here, especially with the King of Wands, they want you to reclaim your power in this relationship and realize that if it doesn't feel the way I need it to feel, I've got to break those ties. You don't have to do anything, Cancer, but I gotta tell you, we do make it a little rougher on ourselves than we have to, because we feel like, oh, it has to be this thing. Oh, how am I gonna move on from this thing? Oh, you were the only one for me. Yes, but remember, that's habit. You can definitely break a habit by slowly saying, is that still true for me? Because if I'm crying about you every single day, fuck that. If I feel like a loser because I'm going through some financial challenges making me forget that I'm connected to the universal mind and the universal supply, it's time to reevaluate that. It's time to face the fears that do show up, because that would definitely represent the devil energy and the Mercury retrograde. But reclaim your power, because once you say goodbye to whatever it is that's holding you back, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And again, if you feel like you can't say goodbye, something's going to come in to help you with that, okay? Because the Tower energy is, you're running in circles, and Spirit is finally like, boop. That's what the crown represents, and the lightning, a sudden shock. It could even just be a revelation or a breakthrough, but all of it causes upheaval because you're no longer in that groove anymore. And this is what you want, especially if you are experiencing that push and pull between yourself. And this resonates so much for me, because I think I told you guys in the last reading that as soon as retrograde started, it was just like I was sparring with the energy. That's why I was just like, let me just get my shit together, because I know this is BS. This is all stuff meant to come up so that I can face it. And now that I'm not afraid to do that, I can face it and get the breakthroughs, okay? But right now, this is all about you reclaiming your power by integrating those new boundaries, tapping into the information you are receiving, okay? Because you do know what needs to change. First of all, stop telling yourself you don't, because it's BS. Okay, bless everybody's heart, but it's BS. You know, because it's on your mind endlessly. That's what's causing this separation here between you and you. Okay, because this could also be, like I said, about that partnership that you really need to evaluate and say goodbye to, because it's draining or it's causing you to think you're something about yourself that isn't true. It's bringing up for sure those deep subconscious fears about abandonment and things like that. If that is making you feel that way, it's time to say goodbye. And I ain't never lied, okay? And that is going to be the hardest part if you've been in an internal struggle about this. But this time is about you reclaiming your power, and that would be why when the past does show up, leaning into your boundaries is going to be the thing that makes the biggest impact and gives you the biggest breakthrough, for sure. So I am going to pull one more card here because I don't like leaving you guys on the devil. Which, again, I also like the devil because if you're really being honest with yourself and you trust what the cards are telling you, that's letting you know that something's off. You're still bound to some type of thought, or you're still bound to some type of fear, or you're still bound to some type of addiction. Could be a person, could be a substance, could be a whatever, but you're still bound to that thing. As soon as you can get aware of that, then you can start making the change. Otherwise, you're just in this spiral of thinking that this is what my life is. And you want to be aware, which is why I like the Tower and I like the Devil. I'm not afraid of those energies. I want Spirit to show me so that I don't keep doing this, especially if it's sabotaging me. Okay? So reclaim that power with that King of Wands. Let's get one more for the advice, and then I'll get you guys an angel number, and I'll send you on your beautiful way. And again, if these are helping you, please do subscribe, please do share. And like I said, I will be integrating a live Q&A here as soon as I can get my schedule together. Whoa. And then you guys will definitely want to subscribe for that, because I would love to help you guys in any way that I can. Yeah. I love that so much. Right now, it is going to be about you seeking some type of emotional balance, okay? Definitely also represents that integration that we were talking about here with those boundaries. Okay, so it is definitely going to be a time for you to look into trying to say goodbye to these things, trying to let these thoughts end, trying to let the energy of bad investment, because like I said, this could be about money, but it feels like the things you've been investing in that are not working. It's time for you to let that stuff die with the coffin and look at a new strategy, okay? And it's also time to let this situation die as well, because we definitely got, it's time to say goodbye. Okay, if it is making you feel like shit, especially if it's another person, it doesn't have to be. There's a lot of other people out there, and there's people, once you make space for it. Oh, that's another thing they wanted me to tell you guys. That's what this is all about. You're making space for the stuff that's showing up after the retrograde. So it is worth it to work to integrate these boundaries. But the people and the person who will love you the way that you deserve to be loved, the person that you don't have to doubt loves you because they're not responding to you or they're not emotionally available, they are waiting to come in when you say goodbye to the things that are not for you anymore, okay? It is, you have the power to release yourself. That's the other advice they want to give with this, and the balance and the Temperance card showing up. You have the power to release yourself from these boundaries, from these binds, by just saying goodbye and the absolute no. Okay, and we do have that showing up, of course. I mean, duh. With the Knight of Wands, we're a little exhausted here. No shit. But it is worth it, okay? Because what's coming through Cancer is not only much bigger than you might be able to see right now, especially if you're stuck in some type of loop or cycle or feedback loop in your head about something. But they want you to know that some type of huge breakthrough is coming through for you, and it's going to change not only the way you see yourself, but the way you see the world and the way that you see relationships, finances, and your business and your career. Okay? So hang in there, because even though this represents being exhausted, it definitely represents keep going. Perseverance, because you're almost there. Okay? Though it's almost over. And again, it's really up to you by just saying no more. What do I deserve? What do I want? How does it have to feel? And I won't put up with any less than that, and I'm okay with being alone or having a little less than I like. You have to be okay with it. You have to find a place of acceptance, quite honestly. And once you do that, it really opens up for you, and very fast, and now you're back in your power. So you're now attracting from a powerful place instead of a stuck place, a fearful place, a damn separation place in a loop that just won't stop. And now you're receiving the clarity and the breakthroughs, and you're integrating those boundaries. And you're now not trying to do anything, you're now just doing this thing. You're now the person that does this instead. Okay, so just embrace that, Cancer, okay? Because you're well on your way, and things are turning in our favor no matter what it looks like, okay? No matter what it looks like, please do try to accept that. Please do try to lean more into that than what we see, okay? Because what's going on this very moment is a result of energy we've already flowed. So if you can change what you're exuding right now, what comes is different, okay? It is totally up to you. And the things that show up are there just to let you know where you're at with it. So be appreciative of what shows up, even if it's fucked up. Like, oh man, I must still be there about this situation. Let me work on letting that go. Because it's not about being afraid, and it's being emotionally detached so that you can logically look at this and say, nope, no more. So let me get you guys an angel number, but when I did stop, we do have alignment, and that would also represent this energy here, that 2 energy, okay? So they definitely want you to just look at right now, getting back in alignment with yourself, and stop that inner struggle between like that he loves me not energy, where you're struggling with yourself, the I can do it and I'm a loser. So you have to somehow find a way to move towards yourself again, if that makes sense. So when you see 2s, obviously that's going to be a kiss from the universe, just to let you know that, to just do a quick check-in. Am I aligned with my purpose? Is what I'm thinking, doing, and saying in alignment with what I know to be true? Okay? So this is going to be the angel number for the next week, though, and then we're going to see what they want you to be aware of. Whoa, when you see this number. Dude. Only because we had 11. Didn't I say 11 represented awakening? Cancer, it's something big is coming to a head right now, but there is this sludge that needs to be cleaned out. Like I said, the cycles are closed, but the issue is that we now have sort of the remnants of the death. So we just have to kind of clean out those corners, take a little broom, get those cobwebs, get the vacuum, get the dust buster, get all that shit out so that we can make the space for what is truly ours. And if you are still kind of feeling like you're stuck in that and you don't feel this awakening energy, it's because there is some things here, right on down from your finances to your romance. Something needs to go. Okay, whatever you're investing your time in financially, or what you're investing your time in business-wise, or you feel like you're running on a hamster wheel, that's going to be the first place to start. And if it's a relationship that's draining you or making you feel like anything less than the king or the queen that you are, the god or the goddess that you are, it's got to go. And it doesn't even have to be a love relationship, because on top of that awakening, we have infinity. We're infinite. Okay, awaken to that infinite you. That's what, when you see this 11, or you see ones of any kind, because they're all about new beginnings, and 11s are the portal. So when you see that, just know that it's an ask for you to check in with yourself, and are you in alignment with your infinite self? Because they definitely want you to know that you are beyond infinite. And if you trust that you're connected to the universal mind and supply, you will start walking like that in your daily life. And you will stop putting up with stuff that's no longer you. And the goodbyes will flow out of your mouth so fast that you'll laugh at the fact that it's even trying to show up again. Like, really? I don't think so. So, I hope something resonated, Cancer. I really am so excited that I get to connect with you guys here. Please do subscribe. Please do like. And like I said, I'm going to be doing like a live Q&A here. And as soon as I get that date, I will just jump on and let you guys know. That's why it's a good idea to hit that subscribe button. So thanks again. I am Mika, the Traveling Tarot. I love you guys. Take care of each other, okay? Peace.